Welcome. This is the second part of the journey through the Agile Mindset infographic. So let's get straight in. We've covered all of these items already. We've looked at those in the previous video. So let's add a little bit more of the context. The next part, what I was trying to do then was to capture those other words and make sure that I was tying what I was thinking about back to the Agile Manifesto. So the value number one of the manifesto is individuals and interactions over processes and tools. And I've sort of condensed that down to the phrase verbal interactions. That's something that I am trying to do, is make sure that where possible, I'm avoiding or augmenting anything written with the verbal, with words, with a conversation, be that on the phone, be it on on WhatsApp with audio, be it through through video chats and so forth. The other point there is neuroscience. What I'm talking about there is just all of those ideas that are available through the exciting field of neuroscience. I started my journey in that field by reading David Rock's book, Your Brain at Work, and just has really helped me understand how to do a number of things, how to put tasks, how to get my subconscious mind to work on tasks whilst my conscious mind is busy with things, for example. Understanding how it is that we can inadvertently trigger somebody's amygdala and cause their brain function to shut down, and the things that we can do with that. So that's a really interesting area, and that just reminds me about all that. And then the third word there, flow, just this idea. For me, the idea that I have with that word is imagine a river, and imagine being the river, not being the rocks. So as a river is flowing, the water just flows naturally and easily around the rocks and the obstacles that are there. It doesn't sort of necessarily get stuck if there's a boulder or something in the middle. It doesn't get stuck. This idea of flow is how I like to think about our agile approach. On the other side, we talk about working solutions. As fast as possible, get something tangible, something done that we can put in front of a user. So working solutions, and of course this comes from the second manifesto principle, which is working solutions over working documentation. So I'd rather look at the thing rather than read about it or have a document or a status report. Then, of course, very, very important in Agile, pilots and experiments. This idea that we are moving constantly, that we're experimenting, we're iterating quickly, we're getting to an answer quick, as fast as we can. We think about what we want, we have a thesis, and then we move quickly to find out whether that thesis stacks up at all. And then the other thing, they're breaking things down into small, manageable tasks, taking something into a sprint that you know you can finish by the end of the sprint. The more we can break things down, the more manageable things are. We all know that phrase, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And that's exactly what we're trying to do here. So don't try and solve the entire problem. I think another phrase is don't try and boil the ocean, but break things down where possible. Most things can be broken down into things that can be done independently and individually and then added to the next piece. So after that, what I have added is the reminder of small cross-functional self-organizing teams. And it doesn't matter where that team is, whether it's a team working on a project or whether it's actually the C-suite. Each of those are teams, and we want them to be small, cross-functional, and self-organizing. Of course, we want fast feedback and short cycles, short learning cycles, short iteration cycles, so that we get the information as fast as we can. And then the last piece of the puzzle here that I've put in is us being responsive to change. Agile principle number 4, Agile value number 4, I should say, is that we respond to change over following a plan. And we've done a lot of chatting about that, and there'll be more as well, especially when we move into the leadership pathway on this, but being responsive to change, so being comfortable and happy with with handling change, with just flowing with it. So it goes back to the river idea, flow with it. We want enabling leadership. Leadership is incredibly important for Agile, and we've got a whole pathway coming up on that. Eventually we may have more than one pathway because it is absolutely critical. And leadership, not only all the way from the top down, but also getting us into the habit of all of us being leaders in what we're doing. And of course, finally, coming back to the idea, are we working towards a common purpose? So these are some words. Some of them kind of repeat themselves a little bit. I can see that. But find the words that work for you, and pick the words that you want there. But again, talking about keeping things simple, I then go back to just the 5 that we started with in the first video. Let's keep it easy to remember, easy to understand. Find 3 to 5 words that work for you, and make that happen. I love asking the question, by the way. What does Agile mean for you? And I love it even more when the person I asked that question of can come back with 1 or 2 very simple phrases which explains how they view Agile. And everybody's different. We've got different images, pictures in our heads as to what it means, different experiences that we are trying to summarize in those sentences. But figure out that is. Figure out what that is for you, and please feel free to share it with me. I would love to hear what your thinking is. Talk to you in the next video.